welcome to Park Yoga. Sit up nice and tall. You can turn your thighs in and back just to get a nicer seat, and make sure that you feel level on your sits bones and that you're lengthening up through the sides, the waist, and go ahead and stretch your arms up overhead, and then allow your arms to just float down by your sides. Good. And then resting hands either up or down on your thighs, and go ahead and close your eyes and close your mouth and just breathe through your nose. And notice your breath. Notice if you're breathing more through your right or your left nostril. And not trying to change anything, not trying to control it, just noticing. Just tuning in to the rhythm of your breath. And setting an intention for this practice today. Setting an intention for contentment. This practice, just allowing whatever to happen, happens. Allowing yourself to be as present as possible. And as we move and breathe, finding gratitude for each breath, finding gratitude for each moment. Just noticing the noises around, the birds and the wind, and just allowing them to come into your world. Keep breathing a nice steady breath in and out. Reaching up, bring your hands together into your heart as you exhale. And again, just thinking about this intention of contentment, how we can find gratitude in each moment. Full breath in. Exhale and bow your head. And lower your hands, softly open your eyes. And hands on your knees again, and we'll move through a couple of arch and roundings of the spine. So as you inhale, let the center of your chest move forward, your shoulders roll back, and then as you exhale, that center point moves back in a little tilt of the pelvis and the hips. So inhaling, lift, and exhaling, round. Just move at your own pace, your own rhythm. Starting to warm up along the length of the spine, all those tiny muscles that support the spine. Try to breathe just through the nose. And then one more inhale, arching, heart forward. And then one more exhale as you round. And then sitting up nice and tall. Good. Again, reach your arms up, inhaling. As you exhale, take your left hand over to the floor and reach through the right fingertips. You could look up towards the sky or maybe look down towards your left hand. And inhale, coming back up through center and taking your right hand down to the earth. Reach through the left fingertips. Again, looking down or looking up. Full breath. Anchor through that left seat. Make it a little heavier towards the earth. And inhaling back to center. And exhale, hands behind you, just up on fingertips. So you're lifting your chest up and broadening across the collarbones. Turn your head to the right. And then back to center and turn your head to the left. And back to center. keep your hands where they are and bring your feet out in front of you a little wider maybe than your mat, knees bent. And stay up on straight arms and take your knees to the right and look over your left shoulder. And then back to center and take your knees left and look over your right shoulder. And back to center and bring your feet in a little closer and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So you can move your left foot in a little closer, or maybe you want to pick up your butt and move your butt forward. Flex your right toes a lot and try to move your right thigh a little bit forward away from your chest. So you should get a nice stretch here in that right hamstring and glute hip area. Full breath in and exhale. Good. Switch sides and just notice how the sides are different. Again, we're not judging, we're practicing that niyama of contentment, santosha. Moving your left thigh, left hip a little bit away, flex the toes a lot. Try to lift your chest up. Full breath. Good, and then sliding that right leg out, shake your legs out a little bit, and then we'll come over to hands and knees. So from hands and knees, take a look at your hands, make sure that they are shoulder distance apart, knees under your hips, and we'll do that same movement of arching and rounding the spine so the heart moves towards the floor with straight arms. As you inhale and arch that, then the upper back moves towards the sky, the tail and chin tuck just a little. Move at your own pace, finding your own rhythm. Again, just noticing the different sensations and the different sounds. Coming back to a more neutral spine, bring your knees a little bit wider, toes closer together, and start to move your hips in circles. Not forcing anything, just moving, seeing what you're feeling. Go in the opposite direction. And then allow your hips to come back to your heels into child's pose. So not forcing your hips or your knees into any pain. As you let your head and your heart lower, again, just bringing to mind that intention of contentment. Staying present with your breath, finding gratitude for your breath. Full breath in and coming back up through hands and knees. So bring your knees in a little closer and now curl your toes under and lift your knees up off the floor and lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. So hands should be shoulder distance apart, feet inner hip distance apart, ears right between your upper arms. And just bend your knees, move around a little bit in your dog. And slowly start to walk your hands back to your feet. And at the back of your mat, bend your knees and look at your toes and make sure they're pointing straight ahead. And start to lift your sits bones up in the air. So you're lifting those bones right in the center of your butt cheeks, right up to move the legs a little straighter. And then inhale halfway, hands to your shins or maybe to your thighs. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift a little. Shoulder blades come onto your back, belly draws in, and bow forward. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Good. Bending your knees more, hands to your thighs or your hips. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, your gaze, and come all the way up to stand. Reach your arms up, look up, and hands to your heart as you exhale. Take a full breath in and out here. And inhale, reach your arms out and up. Hold your left wrist and side bend to your right. Full breath. chest, maybe lift your eyes. And back to center, and take your hands behind you and interlace them. Roll the shoulders back broad across the chest and bend your knees just a little. And make sure you stay nice and long in the waist and start to come forward, belly towards your thighs. Again, lift your sits bones up to work the legs straighter, head and heart towards the floor. And maybe lift your hands off your low back. Full breath. Inhaling. And as you exhale, go ahead and lower your hands to the mat. Good. Walking forward with your hands back into downward facing dog. And then shift forward into plank. So shoulders come right over your wrists, and lift your low belly in and up. And just breathing here. And finding that sense of contentment, even when things are a little harder, a little bit more of a struggle with the breath maybe. Full breath in. And as you exhale, knees up or down as you lower all the way down onto your belly. And then we'll prop up on forearms. So elbows are directly under the shoulders, palms down, legs together. And just lift your chest, ribs, and belly button away from the earth. And breathe. Back of the neck nice and long. You can stay here or add on by lifting your hips and thighs. Keep your knees on the floor. Full breath. You can stay here or curl your toes under and lift your knees up off the floor. Finding that sense of contentment, a nice, calm breath. And then lowering your knees, your thighs, hips, and belly. Come all the way down and bring your hands for cobra. So make sure your feet are together, tops of the feet down, and pulling the ribs and belly in like we did for forearm plank, lifting just a little for cobra, and exhale, lower. So make sure you're working the legs and the belly. Inhale and lift, and exhale, lower, and one more inhale, and exhale. Good. Come back to your forearms, so elbows right under the shoulders again. And same thing, pull the chest and ribs and the belly button up, and then option to lift hips and thighs, and option to curl the toes and lift the knees. Now if you lifted your knees off the floor, try lifting your right toes off the floor. Notice what your breath does. Lower the right, lift the left. Lower the left, lower your knees, thighs, hips, and belly lower to the earth, and hands for cobra again. So squeezing the feet, pressing them down, inhale and lift, and exhale, lower, and inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Good, curl your toes under. You can come through hands and knees, then plank, and then downward facing dog. Try to lift your butt up in the air as high as you can as the heels lower naturally. Full breath in and breath out. And walking your feet forward to your hands. So again, bending your knees and pressing the toes down, and start to lift the sits bones up. So your hips are ideally right over the heels. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. And inhale. And exhale. Good. Bend your knees. Hands to the thighs, shoulders back. Lift your heart, your gaze. Come all the way up to stand, reaching, looking up. And hands to heart center. Again, full breath in. And exhale. Good. Inhaling and reach. This time, exhale and bend your knees and bend your elbows. So keep your heart lifted and take the right arm underneath the left. And you can hold opposite shoulders or intertwine your arms. Lift the elbows, sit a little bit lower. Full breath in and exhale. Inhale all the way up to stand, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows. Take your left arm now. Hold opposite shoulders or intertwine. Lift your elbows, lift your chest, lower your hips. Inhale and reach up. And exhale, hands behind again, interlace opposite thumb on top. And then broad across the chest, bend your knees. And bring your belly to your thighs. And fold forward again, lifting your hands maybe head and heart towards the floor. Try to stretch longer through the spine. On an exhale, release your hands to the earth. Inhale halfway and exhale. Go ahead and step your left foot all the way back and lower your left knee to the floor. Good. Make sure it's a little bit behind your hip. That right knee is right over your right ankle. And inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Full breath. As you exhale, bring your hands down to the earth, moving your back knee back a little bit and start to stretch your right leg a little straighter. Pulling back on that right heel, pull back on the toes. Notice your upper back. Try not to round it, but try to engage the upper back muscles and moving your chest forward. And then bending that front knee 90 degrees, bring both hands inside the right foot and walk your hands forward and get low inside that right thigh. Make sure again your right knee is right over your ankle as you lower your chest. Walking your hands back in, and on either side of that right foot, lift your left knee. Hands can come forward and push off, lifting that left leg in the air. Lift your belly and chest up, and bow forward. Good. Lower that left leg next to the right, and stepping your right foot all the way back. Right knee behind the hip just a little, and stretch your arms up. So we want this 90-degree angle in the front knee. Full breath. Lift your heart, let your hips lower. Full breath, soft eyes, just taking in. And then hands down on either side of that left foot. Move your right knee back just a little and start to move the left leg straighter. Pull back on the heel, the toes. Chest more forward, not just your chin. Back the neck should stay pretty long. And then bending that left knee and walking your hands now inside the left foot. Walk your hands forward and get low with your chest. Pay attention to the left knee right over the left ankle. Put weight in the inner edge of the left foot. And walking your hands back in and on either side of the left foot, lifting your right knee. Hands can come forward. Push off that left leg and lift the right leg in the air. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Lowering that right foot next to the left. Inhale and exhale. Now bend your knees and sit back into ski racer pose. So your thighs are as parallel to the floor as you can, stretching your arms forward. Nice full breath. You can stay here or rest your elbows on your thighs, or maybe go to a deeper squat if your knees and your hips allow. Hands to your heart. Full breath. And then go ahead and have a seat on your mat and all the way back onto your back. Good. So bring your knees to 90 degrees, shins parallel to the floor, and bring your hands to the front of your thighs. And pushing your hands and thighs into each other to create some tone in the belly. And as you press, you want to anchor the low belly towards the floor. Full breath. And then bring your arms out to a T. And keeping your left shoulder on the floor, take your knees over to the right. And squeezing your thighs together back to center. Take your knees over to the left. Keep your right shoulder down. Squeeze back to center and switch sides. Taking your knees to the right, left shoulder stays down. And back to center and take your knees to the left, right shoulder stays down. Center. Good. Bring your feet together and your hands behind your head. Feet together, knees wide. And you can keep your feet on the floor or lift it up, your choice. Keep your elbows wide and as if you had a string on the center of your heart. As you exhale, lifting your upper body, toning and contracting the abdominal muscles. Inhale back and exhale, lift. Inhale back and exhale, lift. Inhale back and lift. Inhale. Exhale, 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 lift. One more. And lift. Good. Inhale back. Take your legs together and straight up. Hold behind your thighs with your hands and just try to push your butt forward, your thighs forward away from your face. Now you can keep your left hand holding behind your left thigh. Take your right arm up and overhead and extend your right leg out, hovering just above the earth. Take a full breath in, and as you exhale, reaching that right hand for the outside of the left foot. Inhale all the way back. As you exhale, reach up. Inhale back. Exhale, reach. Inhale back. Exhale, reach. Inhale back. Exhale, reach. Inhale back and reach. Inhale and reach. Inhale, reach. Inhale, two more on this side. Reach and breathe. Inhale, and one more. And inhale. Good. Both legs up straight. Hands behind your thighs, pushing the thighs forward. Reconnect with your breath. Slow it down. Your right hand can stay holding behind the right thigh. Now your left arm reaches overhead and left leg out straight. So inhale fully. As you exhale, lifting and trying to reach to the outer edge of that foot. Inhale back. Exhale, reach. Inhale back. Reach. Inhale. Reach. Inhale. Reach. Inhale. Reach. Inhale. Reach. Inhale. Reach. Inhale. Reach. One more on this side and reach. Good. Bend your knees, hands to the front of your thighs again, and push. So what you're doing here is engaging the core but also lengthening the spine. Full breath in. Nice slow exhale. And lowering your feet to the floor, and let your legs slide out on your mat a little wider than your hips, and bring your hands behind your head interlaced. So flex your toes towards your face, squeeze your thighs, your butt, and your belly, and as you exhale, lifting head and heart up. So everything is working here, not pulling your chin forward. Keep your eyes towards the sky, and as you inhale, come back. Exhale, lift. Inhale back. Exhale, lift. Inhale back and lift. Inhale back and lift. Inhale back. Lift. Inhale back. Lift. Inhale back and lift. Inhale back and lift. One more, inhale and exhale. Good. Lower down, bring your feet a little bit wider, arms out to a T, and just take your knees from side to side a few times. And then coming back to center, you can hold behind your thighs and rock front to back the length of your spine. If that bothers your back at all, just roll to your side to come up. You're welcome to roll all the way up and over to a standing forward fold. We'll make our way back to downward facing dog. And again, just check in with the breath, check in with your intention, and shift forward into plank. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, knees up or down, lower all the way down. Tops of the feet down, and inhale, cobra. And exhale, lower. Curl your toes, hands and knees, plank, and downward facing dog. Good. Go ahead and walk your feet forward to your hands. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, hands to your thighs, shoulders back, and come all the way up to stand, reaching up, looking up, hands to heart center. Full breath in and exhale. Good. Arms by your sides, a little bit of balance pose, so be okay to wobble. Balancing doesn't mean perfection, it means there is some movement there, so be okay with that. Lifting your left knee up and just arms out. Try not to lock your right standing leg. Just breathe. Maybe even move your arms around a little bit. And then lowering your left foot to the floor. If balance is an issue, find a spot on the floor to keep your eyes steady, not moving. And then standing on your left leg, lift your right knee up. Again, not locking the knee. Be okay to make yourself move around a little bit. It's good for your balance and for your core to strengthen. Good, and then lower that right foot down. Standing on your right, bend your left knee for a thigh stretch. So keeping some fluidity and some movement, lengthen the left knee, stand tall, maybe reach the right arm up or forward, and maybe start to kick that left foot away from the left butt, reaching forward. Notice your standing leg, not rigid, not locked. Pull the belly in. Roll that left shoulder back. As you come up to stand, let go of the foot. Lift the knee and crossing that ankle over the thigh. If you need to touch down, it's okay. Start to set your hips back. You can reach your arms up or maybe go lower and hands to the floor. Make sure you're flexing that left foot toes. Lift your left knee a little. And then as you come back up to stand, carefully, arms up, lift the knee in warrior three. So arms can reach forward or back. Try to keep that left thigh facing the floor. And then hands to the floor, lift your left leg up high, bow forward. And lowering that left foot next to the right. Inhale and exhale. Good. Bend your knees, hands to your thighs, roll your shoulders back all the way up, reach up, and hands to your heart. Good. Now standing on your left leg, bend your right knee. So grab the foot or ankle and get grounded in that standing left leg, nice and strong. Arm can reach out or up, however you're comfortable. And then maybe kicking that foot back. Breathe. Make sure you're working that standing leg hip. Kicking that right foot away from the butt. Full breath. As you come back up to stand, lifting your right knee and crossing ankle over thigh, start to move the hips back. Again, reach up or go lower. Make sure you're flexing the right toes, staying broad across the chest. Good. As you come up to stand, lift your knee, arms up, and warrior three. So strong standing leg, lifting the belly, broad across the chest. And hands to the floor. Lift that right leg up, bow forward. And then lowering right leg next to the left. Inhale and exhale. Good. Bend your knees, hands to your thighs, shoulders back, coming all the way up, reaching up, looking up, and hands to heart center. Good. Inhale, reach, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway, and exhale, fold. Good. Step your left foot all the way back, and then quarter turn to the left side of your mat. So your feet are parallel. Bend your knees, and just go a little side to side with your hips. You can go a little bit lower, maybe lifting your toes and ball of the foot on the straighter leg. And as you come back to center, make sure your toes are straight ahead and start to work your legs a little straighter and fold forward. Try not to round your upper back, but work the upper back muscles, shoulder blades on your back. Couple of deep breaths in and out. And then bending your knees, and you might need to bring your feet a little closer, hands to your thighs, shoulders back, and come all the way up to stand and reach your arms up, and hands to your heart. Good. Inhale and reach your arms, and as you exhale, turn your left toes open to the back of your mat and arms out wide for warrior two. So look at your back right heel and make sure it's a little wider than your pinky toe. Good. Lower your right hand, lift your left arm up, lower your hips, full breath. Good. And then bringing that left elbow on top of the thigh, inside the knee, or maybe hand to the floor. Sweep that right arm up and over your ear. You can turn to look open. And using your feet, your strong legs, your belly, come back through warrior two. And inhale to that wide-legged pose to the left side of your mat. And open warrior two, now right toes open. Good. Breathe. Chuck out your back heel a little bit wider than the pinky toe. Good. Turn your hips a little towards the front of your mat. Lower your left hand, reach your right arm up. Full breath. Lift your eyes, your heart, and then bringing your right elbow top of the thigh, inside the knee, or go lower. Sweep that left arm over your ear, opening your heart, looking up if you can. And back through warrior two. Good. Inhale and reach up. And as you exhale, open warrior two to the back of your mat again. Left knee bends. Good. Reversing. Right hand down, left arm up. And this time start to straighten your left leg. Good. Turn your hips towards the back of your mat a little. Hinge forward, and left hand grabs a hold of the shin or maybe to the floor. Turn your heart open. Reach that arm up for triangle. Make sure you're using your feet, squeezing the heels in, lifting the belly, the chest. And back through warrior two, bending that front knee. Good. Inhale, reach up, face the left side of your mat. And as you exhale, warrior two, right. Good. Eyes soft, jaw relaxed. Take that left hand down, right arm up. And start to move your right leg straighter. Hips move back, heart reaches forward. Right hand finds the shin or the floor. Turn your heart open. Reach up through the left fingertips. Notice your feet. Again, work the legs and the belly, upper back. And then making your way back through warrior two, bend the front knee. Good. Inhale to the left side of your mat, toes forward and fold forward. Good. Inhale, lift a little. And exhale, fold. You can walk your hands back between your feet as much as you'd like, bowing forward. forward, head towards the earth. And then walking your hands back forward and to the front of your mat through left lunge. Step back, downward facing dog. And bringing your right knee forward for pigeon. So the knee should come a little wider than your hip. If you have knee issues, hip issues, lay on your back. You can stay up like this or come forward onto your forearms, your choice. Make sure your belly's engaged. Make sure you're working both feet. Back leg, compress the top of the foot down or have the toes curled under. Just reconnect with your breath. This is not a complacent pose. It's very much you're engaging, pulling the legs towards each other, belly in, broad across the chest. And then if you're lower on forearms, come up to straighter arms and curl your back toes under and come up and back to three-legged dog. Right leg lifted, bend the knee, open the hip, and maybe come up onto right fingertips. You can look under the right arm or over the left. And then back to center, lower the right leg down and bring your left knee forward for pigeon. Same options. So you can stay up or you can come forward onto forearms. Again, on your back for face up pigeon if you need. Reconnecting with the rhythm of your breath. Try to breathe just through your nose. And then if you're down on forearms, come up to straighter arms and place your hands well, curl your back toes under and up and back to three-legged dog. Left leg now lifted. Bend the knee, open the hip, maybe come up onto left fingertips. Good. Lower that left leg and hand and lift the right leg up. And bring your right knee forward towards your chest and step the right foot between your hands. Good. Pivot the back heel to the floor for warrior one. So as you come up, you can adjust your feet. You might need to go a little wider and try to get that front knee at 90 degrees and turn your ribs, your heart to the front of your mat. Stretch your arms up, heart up, gaze up, even lift the back of the skull a little. Full breath in and out. And take your arms out and behind you, interlace. So you can continue to lift your heart and lower your hips staying here, or bow forward inside your right inner thigh, head and heart towards the floor, maybe lift the hands. Good, coming all the way back up, press into your feet, arms reach up and start to move the right leg straighter, pull back on that hip and then hinge forward, bring your hands to the floor. Nice full deep breath. Start to bend your right knee and lift your left leg up in the air. So walk your hands a little bit forward. Keep looking down for balance. Left hand to your left hip. As you turn open that left hip and thigh, roll the left shoulder back. Maybe reach that top arm up. Maybe turn to look up. Be okay to wobble. Your left hand back down to the earth and left foot next to the right. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Step your left foot all the way back and step your right foot all the way back. Option here, stay in downward facing dog, lower to child's pose, or shift forward into plank. Knees up or down, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra, and back to downward facing dog. Full breath in and out. this time lifting your left. Bring your knee towards your chest and step that foot forward, warrior one. As you come up, that back heel is on the floor. Turn your ribs, heart forward as you lift up. Eyes soft. And take your arms out and behind, interlace, opposite thumb on top, broad across the chest. Stay here or bow forward inside that front inner thigh. Head and heart towards the floor. Maybe lift your hands. Stay anchored in both feet, both legs. And coming all the way back up, reach your arms and start to move now your left leg straighter. So you're moving your hips back as you hinge forward, hands to the floor, legs are straight. Try to move your chest more forward. And then bending your left knee, hands come forward, lift your right leg in the air. Now lift your belly and chest off that thigh as you start to turn. Now open to your right. Hand can be to the hip, arm can reach up. Notice how the sides are a little different. Be okay with that, just breathe. Do your best. And then lowering your hand to the earth and right foot next to the left. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Stepping your right foot all the way back and stepping your left foot back, downward facing dog. And even if you don't want to come forward into plank, full breath, knees up or down, lower all the way down, and tops of the feet down. Stretch your hands back towards your feet and just fingertips on the earth. Lift your shoulders up, maybe bend your elbows a little, and start by pressing the feet, lifting your chest a little, looking at the earth. Lift your chest more, maybe lift your legs, maybe lift your arms. And breathe here. Notice the rise and fall, the expansion and contraction of your breath. And on an exhale, lower down and turn your head to one side. Relax the shoulders, wiggle the hips a little. And we'll come back to center, and same option for locust pose. If you would like, you can interlace your hands at your low back, or if you would like to add on a little bit more, you can grab your feet or your ankles. It's the same work though, of pulling the belly in and trying to stretch the top of your head forward, your tail back, and nice steady breath. And notice the movement of your breath with your body. And on your exhale, carefully lower down, head to the other side. And bringing your hands for cobra and legs together. Make sure you're pressing the feet, lift the belly, inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Curl your toes and downward facing dog through hands and knees as you need. And try to make it a nice long dog, getting the backs of your legs and your spine extended, but with good muscle engagement and awareness. Notice the breath. Go ahead and lower your knees to the earth, and we'll have a seat again. And this time bring the soles of your feet together and your knees wide. Take your thighs and turn them in and back. So you're sitting a little bit more forward on the pelvic floor. You can scoot your hips forward or your heels in. And just sit tall and close your eyes for a moment. I want you to close your mouth and breathe just through your nose and see if your breath has shifted at all from the beginning of practice. Maybe a little bit more even from right to left nostril. softly, blink your eyes open and reach your arms up and come forward with your hands, and maybe you hold the edges of your mat. You don't have to go too far. Make sure your chest is moving forward more than your shoulders and your head. Full breath in and full breath out. Good. Coming back up with your upper body. Take your right leg out straight, and you can bring your left heel in a little closer. And again, turn your thighs in and back a little. Hands by your hips and sit up nice and tall. And then start to bring your chest forward. You can walk your hands forward. You're welcome to even walk your hands over to that straight right leg. Make sure you're flexing the toes, pulling the belly in, and staying with that nice rhythmic breath. Good. Walking your hands back in, and we'll switch sides. So carefully pull that right knee in and extend the left leg out straight. Right heel comes in. Turn your thighs back. So you're moving the flesh of your seat behind you and coming forward with your chest, maybe your hands to center or over that straight left leg. Turn your heart open, reach behind you, and left hand down, turn your heart open. Make sure you're putting weight in that left foot, pushing your left thigh a little bit more forward. And mindfully turning back to center, straighten your left leg out, bend your right knee and right foot crosses over. Adjust your seat as you need to. Sit up tall, holding the right knee, right arm reaches up, and twisting open to your right. Right hand to the floor, sit tall, turn a little bit more, even turn your head to look over that right shoulder. You're isometrically pulling back on the left heel, pushing the right thigh forward. Lift the belly, turn a little deeper with each exhale. And then as you turn back to center, uncross your legs and bring your heels a little bit wider than your mat, knees bent. Again, taking your inner thighs in and back. Hands can be right by your hips. Flex the toes and start to bring your chest forward. If you want to go a little bit more, bring your hands forward, lower your heart towards the floor, and some of you can slide your heels out a little straighter with the legs. So make sure your low back is protected. Your belly in, make sure you're breathing. And just coming back to this intention of contentment and finding gratitude for each moment, for exactly where we are. Not trying to control it or wish something else were happening. Just allowing the moment. Go ahead and carefully walk your hands back in. Use your hands behind your thighs to pull your knees in and lay back onto your back. And as you come all the way back, hug your knees wide towards your shoulders, rock a little bit side to side. And at center, just keep hugging your right knee in, extend your left leg out straight on the floor. You can stay here or you can hold half happy baby. Arm goes inside the knee, hold the outer edge of your foot, head and shoulders stay back. So you're pulling your knee to the floor, the sole of the foot towards the sky. And then start to take that right leg up straight. You can keep holding the foot, or maybe if you're a little tighter, hold behind the thigh or the calf. And then bending your right knee and take your right arm out and roll onto your left hip. So twisting onto that outer left hip, keep your right shoulder down and look over your right shoulder. And then coming back to center and put both knees in line. And keep the left knee hugged in, take the right leg out straight. Stay here, or half happy baby again, holding the outside of the foot, arm inside the knee, head and shoulders back. Keep that right thigh down, full breath. And taking your left leg up straight. So again, hold the foot, hold the calf, hold behind the thigh, but keep your head and shoulders down. Nice fluid breath in and out. And then bending your left knee, hold the outside of the knee with your right hand as you twist. Left arm comes out, turn your head to the left. As you come back to center, release that knee, and both feet on the floor, inner hip distance apart. So peek around the edges, make sure your toes aren't turned out or too wide, and then elbows bent right by your rib cage. Keep your gaze up towards the sky. Push your upper arms into the floor. Start to lift your chest, lift your hips, and come into bridge pose. You're welcome to interlace your hands under the back, roll your shoulders under, lift your heart up as high as you can. Make sure you're putting weight in the toes and the ball of the foot. And then very slowly release the bind, lowering your hips, and bring your feet wide. And let your knees come together and take your arms out to a T. And then once again, just take your knees a couple of times, side to side. Center, lift your feet, hug your knees wide towards your shoulders, rock side to side. And bring your knees together and hands to the front of your thighs again. So push hands and thighs. So you're just resetting, realigning, recommitting to your intention. Full breath in. And as you exhale, lower your feet. Let your legs slide out. Let your toes fall open to the sides. Let your arms get a little wider, palms up. As you let your body just get heavy and settle in for Shavasana. And as you let your breath just find its own natural rhythm, your body just gets heavier and melts into the earth. The earth rises up to meet it, hold you and support you. start to deepen your breath and wiggle your toes and your fingers. And stretch your arms overhead. And bend your knees. And roll over to your right side and just rest your head on your arm. Taking a couple of nice slow deep breaths in and out. And then using that left hand, press yourself up to a nice seat and sit comfortably. Legs can be crossed or legs out straight. And bring one hand on your heart and the other fingertips to the earth. And as you sit up, just scanning your body and noticing how you feel. And may our bodies feel more alive, stronger, more open. And may our minds feel more clear, a little more peaceful and spacious. And may our hearts be more open, more compassionate, more forgiving towards ourselves and towards each other. May we move forward into the rest of our day with this intention of contentment, of paying attention to the breath, to what's around us, to who's around us, and finding gratitude. Bring your hands together at heart center and take a full breath in and exhale. And may the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within guide your way on. Sat Nam. From my heart to each of yours always, with love and gratitude. Namaste. Hey, it's me again. If you enjoyed this practice, please like, share, and subscribe. And consider supporting me by making a donation via Venmo or PayPal, or even going one step further and joining my ever-growing Patreon community, where you can have access to exclusive content like workshops, live stream classes, and more full-length practices before I release them to the public. Remember, it's support like yours that allows me to continue providing content to the yoga community. Also, I'd love to hear from you, so drop me a line in the comments section and look below for all details and links. Thanks so much.